We probably have about 30 species of sharks in the Red Sea. Of the ones that a tourist has a chance to see, we're probably talking about 15, 17 species realistically that you have a chance of meeting. If you're starting to dive from Hurghada, you have a chance to see zebra sharks, white-tip reef sharks, maybe in the right season the odd whale shark. We had quite a few whale shark sightings this year again here in the area. If you go out to the marine parks like Brother Islands or Daedalus, there's a very good chance for grey reef sharks, for hammerhead sharks, for thresher sharks, oceanic white tips, silky sharks this year again. So sharks do have a huge economic value here for the tourism in the Red Sea. Since 2005, basically, legislation or decrees are in place to protect Red Sea sharks, or Egyptian Red Sea sharks. Obviously they're moving, but Egypt is the only country until now that has protective legislation in place. And it has been actually very strong, since it's not only about fishing or catching sharks, but it's also the trading of shark products that is completely illegal in Egypt and the Egyptian Red Sea. With HEPCA, I've been doing a shark project here in the Red Sea for 6 years. Focused on the oceanic white-tip sharks because they're an obvious choice actually for this method. They have very clear markings that make them individually distinct. They're very approachable. They're very curious. And then obviously another additional advantage, there's a lot of divers in the Red Sea. In this case that is an advantage, and a lot of them are using digital underwater cameras, so there's a lot of information available without having to do any specific thing with these sharks, disturb them in any way. It's a very uninvasive technique to gather very valuable information about the species. Throughout the last 6 years, I looked at about 20,000 underwater images of oceanic white-tip sharks, and I've identified just about 550 different individuals from these pictures from the Egyptian Red Sea. We need to expand the study and use not only photo identification, but mainly what we want to do to use modern electronic tracking methods that are available. And the main thing for this will be now satellite tags that we can put on the sharks, leave them on for X amount of months, depending on what the question is, and then we get information on where they are, what the diving profile was, their temperature preferences, and that can then answer more critical questions about their ecology that will help us to come up with conservation and management plans for the species.
I always cared about sharks, and I feel that the only way we can get rid of our fear is by understanding what's going on when a shark meets a person. So it was a logical step for me to focus on the research of shark-human interaction. Shark School is for divers, swimmers, snorkelers, for everybody who would like to learn how to interact with sharks, what to look for, how to interpret their body language, their signal, and most importantly, start to understand their behavior. We do not protect what we're afraid of. And by overcoming fear, we actually start to create sympathy, fascination, and that's basically why I focus on this type of education to support protection for sharks. Well, for starters, never approach a shark. Let the shark be the initiator of a situation. Let the animal overcome its hesitance, fear to come closer. Try not to exhale, not to additionally scare a shark off. Go in a vertical position, that's very new to an animal. So staying calm, not backing off, not approaching an animal, and breathe slowly or not at all, hold your breath is probably the best way for any shark encounter.
I would say it's very easy. If you are diving with predators, you have to use your brain. The moment you use your brain, you can prevent, I would say, 98% of dangerous situations. The problem is that it looks like we are fighting in a war against our oceans, our sharks. We are killing approximately 200 million sharks a year. That is due to bycatch, due to fishery. There's a lot of shark products, and there's the even worst thing is the shark fin soup. There are a huge amount of shark fins are caught all over the world, and they are delivered to Asia. We have to realize that our oceans are so important for us. We receive more than 72% of our oxygen out of our oceans. And if we start killing the top predators, the whole food chain will collapse and the oceans cannot work anymore.